In the 1980s, after the debated success of the T-80A and T-80B, the Soviet Union realized these models were quickly getting outdated due to advancements in Western technology. Due to this, they began developing a new improved version, which would contain new Contact 5 integrated explosive reactive armor, along with a brand new turret. Ulukshenie was going to be included as the model name, which simply meant improvement in English. I present to you, the T-80U. To start us off, the T-80U sits at rank 7 and has a battle rating of 10.7. Like all top tier Russian and Soviet MBTs, the T-80U has a powerful 2A46M cannon, which has a reload of 6.5 seconds, a bit better than the T-72s with 7.1 seconds of reload due to the improved autoloader. The reload rate cannot be lowered due to the autoloader, so crew skill will not affect it. The depression of the gun is only -5 degrees. It's a Soviet tank, so you should expect this. This will be a recurring issue in combat, especially in hilly battles, so take precaution. For the ammo, your first stage ammo can hold 28 shells. I suggest at most 29, 1 for the breach and 28 for the ammo storage. Any more will be stored in the upper turret and can be very dangerous. Onto the shells, your stock shell is 3BK18M, a heated vest shell with a max penetration of 550mm and a velocity of 905 meters per second. This will work well against light tanks, but will have trouble dealing with MBTs due to ERA, so choose your shots wisely, as your reload is very unforgiving. The T-80U's best shell is 3BM46, which has a max penetration of 532mm and has a velocity of 1700 meters per second. This shell will be your heavy hitter, and should be your shell of choice when fighting heavily armored targets such as MBTs. It's worth mentioning that the T-80U has access to a 9M119 barrel-launched ATGM, which has a max penetration of 700mm and a velocity of 400 meters per second. Is it useful? No, not really. Shells are faster and are more accurate. However, this works very well on helicopters. The T-80U has a coaxial mounted 7.62mm machine gun and a roof-mounted 12.7mm machine gun, which makes quick work of helicopters and LAVs. Onto the sights, the gunner's sight unzoomed is 2.7 times and zoomed is 12 times. The commander's sight is 1 times unzoomed and 8 times zoomed. The gunner has Generation 1 thermals. They are not great, but enough to get the job done. The commander only has night vision. Overall, your armament is superb. You have a very good gun, very good shells, and only poor thermals. Your optics aren't that bad, and you should be able to take out targets easily as long as you manage your gun depression well. Your upper frontal plate is pretty good. However, it can be unreliably penned by most top tier APFS DS. However, you are somewhat immune to chemical shells due to Contact 5 ERA put everywhere on the plate. As all Russian upper frontal plates are, you can easily be penetrated by APFS DS in the driver's hatch, and it will most likely knock out your crew or cause an ammo blowout. The lower frontal plate cannot take any APFS DS. It can sometimes take heat FS, but regardless, if the lower frontal plate is penetrated, there's a high chance of a fire, and if APFS DS bounces off the floor, it will most of the time cause an ammo blowout. Your turret is undoubtedly the most strong part of the tank, and should be taken advantage of. All APFS DS and heat FS shells will be completely vaporized by your armor unless they hit the cannon breach, which is common knowledge. A main visual difference of the tank is the Contact 5 ERA loaded all over the turret with rubber flaps hanging off. This grants some extra kinetic, but mainly chemical shell protection. Both the front left and front right side of the tank are symmetric, so getting penetrated on any will have the same effect, which will most likely cause an ammo blowout, which is pretty expected for a Soviet main battle tank. Now, onto the ammo. The con of all Soviet and Russian MBTs with autoloaders. Your ammo is stored in the carousel autoloader, so getting penetrated anywhere has a huge risk of an ammo blowout, so don't make stupid moves. You have 8 smoke grenades, which can be deployed in intervals of 4. Along with this, you have an engine smoke system to assist in tense and bad situations. Overall, your armor and survivability is pretty decent if played correctly. Your armor will hold up, especially the turret. However, stupid moves and completely exposing your tank will most likely result in ammo blowouts, as most enemies will know where to shoot you. Your engine is a Klima GTD 1250, a gas turbine engine which pushes out 1,250 horsepower. This engine allows you to push out 70 km per hour of forward speed, however the reverse speed is only 11 km per hour. T-72s and T-80s are plagued with slow reverse speed. However, the T-80s are slightly better but still utterly horrible in terms of reverse speed. Keep this in mind while in combat. When turning while stationary or at slow speeds, you are not very torquey, and it feels sluggish, but it's enough to get around. When in combat conditions, swerving and going through mud, you can expect to go 30 to 40 km per hour. Your horizontal targeting speed has a base of 14.28 degrees per second and a top speed of 20.4 degrees per second. Your vertical targeting speed has a base of 2.46 degrees per second and a top speed of 3.52 degrees per second. Overall, your mobility is below average. Your speed is pretty good, however you are sluggish at slow speeds and it can make it challenging to use in urban combat. Along with this, your horizontal targeting speed is slower than your adversaries, such as the Leopard 2 or M1 Abrams. At the BRF 10.7, here are some vehicles you can bring along with the T-80U. For starters, some MBTs you can bring are the T-90A and T-72B3. A few good light tanks to bring could be the 2S25M and the BMP-2M. For a dedicated anti-tank, the Chrysanthema works pretty well. Finally, for SBA, you can bring the 2S6 Tunguska. These are the unlockable camouflages through kills: Bicolor Desert, Deforming Forest, Deforming Winter, and Lake Green. These are the unlockable camouflages through Golden Eagles: Tricolor, Tricolor Desert, Deforming Desert, Finished Summer, Deforming Tricolor, Late Desert, and Korean Summer. These are the buyable camouflages through the marketplace: War Thunder League, T-80U Omsk, and T-80U Swamp Creature. In conclusion, the T-80U is most dangerous in its firepower and armor. The survivability isn't great, but the armor is pretty good. The 125mm gun packs a huge punch to enemy armor and should not be underestimated. The T-80U is not a good tank to grind out the Soviet tech tree. It can definitely grind high tier tanks, but I don't advise it using it to grind low tier or mid tier tanks. It would be way too slow. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me and it makes me pretty happy seeing people enjoy my videos. Have a great day. Viper out.